Today I'll be working with the equation 237 plus 284, and I will be using estimation to begin with. So to start, we're going to be taking the 237 and just rounding it up to a friendly number. So we're going to use 240, and we're going to change the 284 to 280. So now we're going to look at splitting these numbers up further. So taking the two 200s and adding them together, and then the 10s. So the 40 and the 80. Then we will split them up and add them together. So 200 plus 200 gives us 400, and 40 plus 80 gives us 120. Finally, we are going to add these numbers together, which will give us 520. Here we have the final product of 520, so we know that our add-ins will estimate up to around 520 at the end. Looking at the equation concretely now, so using my add-ins up here, 237 plus 284, you can see them represented here with the flats, rods, and the units. So here we have 200, which is 2 flats. Here we have 30 tens, so 3 of the rods and 7 of our ones units. And then here we have 2 flats and 8 rods and 4 of our ones units. So to start, we're going to take from this side. So we're going to work here. We know that 7 plus 4 equals 11. So that means we're going to take 10 and do a trade for a rod. So for 110. And now we're going to add these guys up. So we have 4 and we have 8. So 8 plus 4 will give us 12. So that means we're going to take away 10 from this section and trade in for another hundreds. So this will be our final answer here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the hundreds, 2 in the tens, and 1 in the ones. So we can add that up over here. We'll have 500 plus the 2 tens, so 20 plus the 1. Which gives us 521. All right, now I'm going to start with the pictorial version of my equation. So I have my equation here, and I've got my columns here. So starting with the hundreds, so I've got 2 hundreds here, 3 tens, and 7 units of ones. Here I have 2 hundreds, 8 tens, and 4 units of ones. So I'm going to start with addition on the ones. So I know that 7 plus 4 equals 11. So I'm going to take 10 out of the 11 here and trade them over to this side to add another 10s. And now I know that we had 3 and 8, but now we have an extra out up here. So 4 plus 8 is going to equal 12. So that means I'm going to have 2 remaining, but I'm going to take 10 over to the 100 side, giving me another 100. So now I'm going to look and add them all up. So in the hundreds column, we've got 3 and 2, so we've got 500. In the tens, we've got 2 tens, which is 20. And in the ones, we have 1. So we can add these up, we get 521. And that is the answer for pictorial. Now we're looking at the equation symbolically. So to do that, we're going to break it apart, starting with our 237. So we'll start by creating the hundreds group, so 200, plus the tens, which is 30, plus the ones, which is 7. And then we'll look at the other side, which is another 200, and then the tens is an 80, and in the one section we have a 4. So now we're going to group them, so we'll start by doing the hundreds, so 200 plus 200, and then the tens, 30, plus the 80, and finally the 10 or ones, the 7 plus the 4. So now we'll be taking the groupings. So 200 plus 200 gives us 400, 30 plus 80 gives us 110, 7 plus 4 gives us 11. Now we add these add-ins together. So 400 plus 110 gives us 510, plus 11 will give us 521, giving us our final answer symbolically. Now we'll be doing my personal strategy using a number line. So we're starting out with my add-ins up top here, so 237. The easiest strategy I have is to add 100 to that. That'll give us 337. Then we can look again that we still have another 100 to spare, so we'll add another 100 to that number, which will bring us to 437. Then we can look at our one section to make it a little simpler and add plus 4. This will bring us to 441, and then we can add finally the 80, which is in our tens. So plus 80 will bring us to 521, giving us our final answer of 521. And when we think back to my estimation, which was 520, sorry, we remember that I only have a difference of 1. So my estimation was very close.